The North London derby is upon us. There's been so many games cancelled due to the passing of Queen Elizabeth II. This game feels even more exciting. There is such anticipation. There is such a need and a want to get the excitement back amongst the football fans in the UK and, of course, internationally as well. The international audience that loves our game, loves our sport, and loves our league. The international break has been hard. The international break has been tough. Arsenal remain top of the league. Spurs chasing hard behind. And there's so many subplots and side stories to this individual game. Of course, there's the rivalry of Arsenal and Tottenham, which we will come on to. Of course, there is the quote unquote title race. Are Arsenal really going to be involved? Could Tottenham see themselves in title contention? Can both these teams, one of these teams, push Manchester City to the brink? And we're going to get onto that a little bit later. But the biggest thing for this for me is there is a build-up over the past 6 months of disdain, annoyance, anger, frustration towards the progression and the betterment of Arsenal Football Club. We have seen world famous pundits angry that they're celebrating wins. We have seen pundits call out the debuts of young players in the right moments in the right games. It's all about arrogance. Arsenal are arrogant. We have seen people dismiss their start of the season. They've only played small teams. They've had the easiest start. Who have they beaten? They had one tough test against Man United and they lost. And nobody wants to give them the credit that is due. And for me, I think for the first time in Premier League history, every member of the top six outside of Arsenal is a Spurs fan this coming Saturday. Everybody wants Spurs to win. Everybody wants to put a finger in the eye of Arsenal. And that's why this is such an exciting game. It's going to break viewer figure numbers globally, in my opinion. The anticipation, the excitement, the desperation for Arsenal to lose is what's drawing everybody in. It's like a Conor McGregor fight. Yes, there's lots of people supporting Conor McGregor, i.e. Arsenal in this circumstance, but the vast majority of the audience are there because they want to see him get knocked out. They want to see the hype train be stopped. They want to see the person, the team, the individual at the peak of their powers right now ripped apart. And that's what makes this game so exciting for me. Who do I think is going to win? I'm going to come on to that soon, so make sure you stay with me right here on the Football Terrace. Hit the like button. Make sure you've turned on the bell notification button and subscribed as well. And scan that QR code right there on the screen to download the One Football app or click on the link in the description below. Keep doing that. It really does support the Terrace. Now, this focus on a few things that I've mentioned. Let's go to Tottenham first of all. This is a hard game for them. It's a hard game. They haven't won in 12 years at the Emirates, away from home in the Premier League against Arsenal. 12 years is a long time. And I understand there's new managers, there's new players, it's a new world. But these records, they cut deep. These records get into the mindset and the psyche of a football team. So it's already an uphill challenge for Tottenham. They're also going up against a slightly superior team. Spurs have been good this year, but the performances haven't been consistent. What they do have, though, Tottenham, are killers up front. Richarlison is really proving me wrong at this moment in time. I have to put my hands up and say he's been excellent at his start at Tottenham. What he's doing internationally is brilliant, and he will have that bit between his teeth. On top of that, of course, Harry Kane and Son. You can never write those guys off. Son with a hat-trick in 14 minutes against Leicester in his last outing. He'll be raring to go. And Harry Kane is Harry Kane is Harry Kane. One of the best strikers and one of the best finishers, not just the Premier League, but European football has seen in the past 20 plus years. There is no doubt about it. And you've also got Kulusevski. Those four between them, depending on who starts, the rotation, the formation, are going to be dangerous. And Arsenal are going to have their work cut out. This is the hardest team, I think, from an offensive point of view that Arsenal have played. However, very much like Man United, it will be counter-attack football. So that's what they've got to get right. They have to make sure they don't play too high a line. They don't leave too much room in behind. Because for me, at this moment in time, Kulusevski, Richarlison, Son, Kane will be more punishing to you than Manchester United at Old Trafford a few weeks ago. But that's it. That is how Spurs win this game. They're not going to dominate the ball. They're not going to outplay Arsenal, especially at the Emirates. It's all going to be about the counter-attack. And when you talk about the rivalry and you look at Arsenal, are they going to allow the tide to change? Even when Arsenal have been poor in the past decade or so, Their home record against Tottenham has always been top notch. And that's something that Mikel Arteta has to maintain. One, bragging rights are important within football. Two, they need to send a message out here, Arsenal, that we are for real. We're going to move on to 21 points. We're going to create a little bit of a cushion between us and Tottenham. For all intents and purposes, it's a little bit of a 6-pointer. They need to send a message here, Arsenal, that we are the real deal. Beat Tottenham, and I think that happens. Of course, the rivalry and the derby within itself adds that it's, for me, it's the cherry on top of the icing on top of the cake. It's already an amazing game because of all the other factors we've already mentioned. You throw in the rivalry, Spurs' determination to win for the first time in 12 years at the Emirates, Arsenal's determination to prove to everybody that they are the real deal this season. You throw in the fact it's a derby as well, and it becomes an absolute cauldron of excitement, emotion, anxiety, and all that jazz. And I, for one, cannot wait to sink my teeth into it as a football fan. In terms of both of these teams being title contenders, this season I'm still not convinced. I'm not convinced this season they will, with 2 to 3 to 4 games remaining, be mathematically possible and feasible for them to beat City to a title. That for me is being in the title race right to the end. As of now, they're in one, if you want to call it that. They are Arsenal are ahead of Man City, Tottenham are level on points. But games like this start to show you who is boss. If Tottenham are able to break a 12-year duct, a 12-year rut, and get those 3 points, it sends a huge message against the best team in the league so far this season. If Arsenal answer their critics and beat Tottenham, and what I've said about Arsenal for a number of weeks, I think will reign true after this weekend, and I'm kind of getting onto my prediction here. Every week, more and more people are going to start changing their minds. More and more people are going to start looking at Arsenal with a lot more respect. Oh, I didn't see this coming, but maybe, just maybe. Oh, actually, they've been pretty good. We saw just after their last win, people start to call them title contenders. There's me sitting here saying, yo, maybe I don't have the credibility. Maybe I don't have the audience. Maybe I don't have a noisy enough fan base. Maybe I'm not collaborating with the right people. But Arsenal, in my opinion, are the real deal. Spurs are no pushovers. Spurs are no mugs. Spurs are not a bad team. So before any Spurs fan gets triggered, I'm saying you're a good side. But I do believe Arsenal will win. I do believe Arsenal this season will prove themselves to be clear of Tottenham. By the end of the season, I believe there'll be a 10-point gap between the two teams. I believe Arsenal are that good. That good. Of course, these predictions are all in mass injury pending. Everyone's going to get injuries, but if Arsenal was to lose 5 or 6 of their best players for 3 or 4 months at a time, my opinion's going to change on where they sit. But if all things remain fairly equal, they're going to have a tremendous season, Arsenal, and I think they're going to convince a lot of people this weekend. I think they're going to turn more heads. I think they're going to send Tottenham back across North London, not with their tails between their legs. I don't think they're going to batter them. I don't think they're going to smash them up. I don't think they're going to annihilate them like they did in the first half of this fixture last season. But I do believe they're going to win. I do believe that they're going to come out having played the better football, dominated the ball in the right areas. They're 2-0 up with 20 minutes to go. You might see Spurs have loads of possession, but that's only when Arsenal let them have it. Arsenal will play the best football. They will dominate the ball. They will dominate the proceedings. They will create the most amount of chances in terms of from play, not counter attack. That's the only option that Tottenham have got in this game. I just feel that at the Emirates, the noise and the excitement surrounding that stadium and that fan base at the moment, it's going to be a little bit too much for Arsenal that do have this huge mental stumbling block when it comes to going to the Emirates. They are in this game. They can win it, there's no doubt, but I'm predicting Arsenal to win, and I'm predicting a scoreline of 3-1. 3-1 to the Gooners, and I think they will take at least a 2-goal lead in this match. And as I say, this is going to be another one of those games, another turning point, another gateway moment where rivals say, maybe I was wrong about Arsenal. Maybe I've got to take them a little bit more seriously. When I look at the breakdown of why I also think this is going to happen, there is some statistical data to back this up. Both teams score similar amounts of goals. I think it's 17 goals for Arsenal and 18 goals so far this season for Tottenham. Of course, Tottenham got 6 of those goals against Leicester. They really destroyed them. When you look at the goals they concede, it's fairly even as well. I'm just checking here, 7 goals apiece conceded, but it's the amount of shots that are conceded. So Tottenham concede nearly double the amount of shots. Sorry, just over double the amount of shots in a game compared to Arsenal. Arsenal have allowed very few opportunities against them this year, only a handful on the counter attack. So if they can nullify the counter attack as best as possible, maybe playing their high line 4 or 5 yards deeper at times in the game, having good in-game management, not going for broke at the wrong moments, being balanced in their play. They stop that counter attack and they play their style of football, which has been better than anybody else for me so far this year. If other teams are averaging 15 shots per game at Tottenham, if you look at the amount of opportunities Leicester created against them, Arsenal are going to create abundance of chances. So I'm not just saying this all based on piss and wind and thoughts and feelings. There is some statistical data and the eye test behind it to back it up. Arsenal have been the better team this year. I think they are clear of Tottenham this season and will prove that in terms of points tally by the end of the campaign. And after this weekend, will be 4 points. 4 of those 10 points, I believe, clear of Spurs. Now, listen, I want your views. I want your opinions in that live comment section. How do you see this game going? Of course, we're going to be previewing this on the 12th Man and on the Top 6 show this week. But that's more of me hosting, more of me asking questions. I wanted to do you the honor of giving you my thoughts, giving you my feelings. But I am predicting an Arsenal win, a fairly big Arsenal win to remain top of the league. Leave your comments below. Make sure you download the One Football app before you leave. Scan the QR code or click on the link in the description. But until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you soon.